September 21st, 1996, Saturday afternoon, 3:47 p.m. Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, the neighborhood where the notorious Biggie grew up, where Christopher Wallace learned to survive. He doesn't come back here much anymore. Too famous, too recognized, too much attention. But today he's driving through alone. No security, no entourage. Just him in a black Mercedes, windows down, radio off. Just the sounds of Brooklyn, kids playing, music from open windows, life happening. Biggie's thinking about his mother, about Valletta, about how she worked 3 jobs to keep him fed, keep him clothed, keep him in school even when school felt impossible, about how she never gave up on him even when he gave her every reason to, about how everything he has starts with her refusal to let her son become a statistic, with her belief that Christopher Wallace was more than the streets wanted him to be. He's stopped at a red light on Fulton Street when he sees her, an elderly woman, maybe 60, maybe older, gray hair, thick glasses, standing at a bus stop struggling with grocery bags. 4 bags, too heavy, too much for someone her age. One bag slips from her grip. Oranges spill onto the sidewalk, rolling. She bends down slowly, painfully, trying to gather them. Something about her looks familiar. Biggie can't place it, but something pulls at him. Some memory that won't quite form. He pulls over, parks, gets out, walks to the bus stop. The woman is still gathering oranges. "Let me help you with that." Biggie bends down, starts collecting oranges. His hands are huge, can hold 3 oranges in one palm. "Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. These plastic bags, they just break. Used to be paper. Paper was stronger." She stops when she looks up, sees who's helping her. Eyes go wide. Not recognition. Fear. A large man. 395 pounds. Expensive clothes. Platinum chain. In Brooklyn, that could mean danger. Biggie sees the fear, softens his voice. "It's okay. I'm just helping. I saw you drop them." He places the oranges gently back in the bag, stands, picks up 2 of her grocery bags. "These are heavy. Where are you headed?" "The bus. Number 43. But I can manage. You don't have to." Still uncertain, still wary. "How far are you going?" "Marcy Projects. I live there. Building 7. She points down the street. "Just a few stops, but with these bags." "Marcy Projects?" Biggie pauses. "I grew up near there. St. James Place. Building 226. Something clicks. "What's your name, if you don't mind me asking?" "Patterson. Gloria Patterson." She adjusts her glasses, looks at him more carefully. "Do I? Have we met, Miss Patterson?" Biggie's voice changes, becomes younger, becomes Christopher. "Miss Patterson from PS 88, 5th grade?" Her mouth opens. She stares, trying to see through the size, through the years, through the transformation. "Christopher? Christopher Wallace?" "Yes, ma'am." Biggie smiles. Real smile. Not the Biggie smile. The Christopher smile. "It's me. Oh my lord. Oh my lord in heaven." Miss Patterson's hand goes to her chest. "Christopher, you look so different. I didn't recognize you." She starts crying. Not sad crying, overwhelmed crying. "Look at you. Just look at you. I know. I got big." Biggie laughs, self-deprecating. 395 pounds. Bit different from 5th grade. "You were such a small boy. So skinny. And so smart. So smart. Christopher, I remember you. Of course I remember you." Miss Patterson is smiling now, crying and smiling. "You used to read books during recess. While the other boys played basketball, you'd sit on the bench and read. I used to watch you and think, this boy is going somewhere. This boy is special." Biggie's throat is tight. He remembers 5th grade, remembers Miss Patterson's class, remembers her being the only teacher who didn't look at him and see a problem, who saw potential instead. "You told me I could be anything. You remember that? You told me I was smart enough to be anything I wanted." "I remember, because it was true. You were brilliant, Christopher. Your mind worked differently. You saw things others didn't see. You just needed someone to notice." MS. Patterson reaches out, touches his arm, like she's making sure he's real. "And now look, you're famous. You're on the radio. I'm so proud of you. Can I give you a ride? My car's right here. Let me drive you home. Please." The bus is going to take forever, and these bags are heavy, and I'd really like to talk to you. Miss Patterson hesitates, then nods. Okay, yes, thank you, Christopher. They walk to the Mercedes. Biggie opens the passenger door, helps her in, loads the groceries in the back seat, gets in. Marcy Projects, Building 7, right? Right. 4th floor. Apartment 4D. Miss Patterson looks around the car. Clean. Expensive. This is a beautiful car. Thank you. Biggie pulls into traffic. So you're still in Brooklyn? Still in the neighborhood? Still here. Been here 42 years. Been teaching at PS 88 for 31 years. Retired last year. Now I'm just... She trails off. Just living. Getting older. Getting by. You retired? You love teaching. Biggie glances at her, sees the tiredness, the weight of years. I did love it. Still do. But the pension, it's not much. And the city's expensive now. Everything costs more. Groceries, rent, medicine. I thought retirement would be relaxing, but it's mostly just worrying about money. She says it matter-of-factly, not complaining, just stating reality. Biggie drives in silence for a moment, processing. MS. Patterson gave 31 years to teaching Brooklyn kids. 31 years of believing in children everyone else gave up on. 31 years of spending her own money on supplies, on books, on food for kids who came to school hungry. And now she's in Marcy Projects struggling with grocery bags because her pension barely covers rent. The unfairness of it sits heavy in his chest. You still live in Marcy? In the projects? Yes. Same apartment for 18 years. It's small, but it's mine. Well, the city's, but I've made it home. She looks out the window. I used to live in a nicer building, but when I retired, I had to downsize. Marcy was what I could afford. Biggie pulls up to Building 7, parks, gets out, grabs the grocery bags, helps Miss Patterson out. Let me walk you up. Make sure you get in okay. Christopher, you don't have to. I want to. Please. They walk into the building. The lobby is worn. Fluorescent lights. Cracked tiles. The smell of old cooking and mildew. The elevator is broken. Sign taped to it. Out of order. Use stairs. Miss Patterson looks at the stairs. 4 flights. With grocery bags. Her face shows resignation. I got it. Biggie picks up all 4 bags. You just lead the way. They climb. Slowly. Miss Patterson's knees aren't what they used to be. She pauses at each landing. Catches her breath. Biggie waits patiently. Doesn't rush her. By the 4th floor, she's winded. I used to do these stairs 3 times a day. Now it takes me 10 minutes. She unlocks her door. Come in. Please. Let me get you some water. The apartment is tiny. 1 bedroom, maybe 600 square feet. But it's clean, organized, dignified. Photos on the walls, most of them students. Kids in classrooms, kids graduating, kids she taught. Books everywhere, shelves full. A small TV, a worn couch, a kitchen table with 2 chairs. This is what 31 years of teaching Brooklyn children gets you. A 400 square foot apartment in the projects. Biggie sets the groceries on the counter, looks around, sees the photos, sees the books, sees the life of someone who gave everything and has almost nothing to show for it, except the memories, except the kids she saved, except Christopher Wallace standing in her kitchen. You have a beautiful home. Biggie means it. It's not about size. It's about her, about what she's made of this space. Thank you. It's small, but it's enough for me. Miss Patterson fills 2 glasses with tapped water, hands one to Biggie. Sit, please. Tell me about your life. I want to hear it all. They sit at the small kitchen table, knees almost touching in the cramped space. Biggie tells her about his music, about Ready to Die, about going platinum, about touring, about his daughter Tiana, about his wife Faith, about his mother being proud, about the life he's built. Miss Patterson listens, smiles, nods, her eyes bright with pride. And you remember me? From 5th grade? That was 20 years ago. I remember you because you're the only teacher who told me I was smart. Everyone else told me I was a problem. Told my mom I wouldn't amount to anything. Told me to stop dreaming. But you told me I could be anything. You told me my mind was a gift. You told me to read, to learn, to think, and I did. I remembered that, especially when things got hard, when I was selling drugs, when I was in jail, when I thought maybe everyone else was right. Maybe I was just a problem. But then I'd remember you saying I was smart, I was special, and I'd think, maybe Miss Patterson was right. Maybe I can be more than this. Miss Patterson is crying again. Oh, Christopher, I had no idea. I had no idea you remembered. I had no idea it mattered. It mattered more than anything. Biggie reaches into his pocket, pulls out his checkbook, leather-bound, his name embossed in gold, opens it. Miss Patterson, Can I ask you something? Of course. Would you let me help you? Financially? Would you let me give you something? To say thank you for believing in me when nobody else did. Miss Patterson's face changes. Uncomfortable. Christopher, no. You don't have to. I know I don't have to. I want to. Please, let me do this. He's already writing. Date, September 21st, 1996. Paid to the order of Gloria Patterson. Amount, $10,000. Words, for 20 years of thank you. Signature, Christopher Wallace. He tears out the check, hands it to her. Miss Patterson looks at the check. Her hands are shaking. Christopher, this is $10,000. I can't take this. This is too much. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. You gave 31 years to kids like me. Kids nobody believed in. Kids the system gave up on. You spent your own money on us, your own time, your own heart. And now you're living in a 400 square foot apartment on a pension that barely covers rent. That's not right. So please, take this. Use it to make your life easier. Buy yourself something nice. Fix something that's broken. Please, let me give back a little of what you gave me. I didn't give you anything expecting payment. I did it because it was right. Because you deserved it. I know. That's exactly why I'm giving you this. Because you did it for nothing. Because you expected nothing. Because you're still here in Brooklyn living small, while the kids you saved are out there living big. That's not right. And I can't fix all of it, but I can fix a little. For you. For the person who saw me when I was invisible. Biggie stands. I have to go. But please, cash that check. Use it. And if you ever need anything else, anything at all, you call me. He writes his pager number on a piece of paper, puts it on the table. That's my pager. You need me, you page me. Day or night. I mean it. Miss Patterson stands, hugs him. She barely reaches his chest. Small, fragile, old, but her hug is strong, fierce. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you so much. You gave me words when I needed them. Now I'm giving you this. We're even. Biggie kisses her forehead. Take care of yourself, Miss Patterson, and thank you for everything. He leaves, walks down the 4 flights, gets in his Mercedes, drives away, and thinks about teachers, about people who give everything and get almost nothing, about the unfairness of a world where Miss Patterson lives in the projects while he drives a Mercedes, about debt, about gratitude, about never forgetting. Miss Patterson stands in her apartment holding the check. $10,000. More money than she's ever held. More money than she makes in 6 months. She looks at it, reads it again. For 20 years of thank you. She sits down, cries. The kind of crying that comes when someone sees you, really sees you. When someone remembers. She cashes the check the next day. The bank teller looks at it. Ma'am, this is a lot of money. Are you sure this check is real? It's from Christopher Wallace, the rapper, the notorious Biggie. I taught him, 5th grade, 20 years ago. The teller's eyes widen. Check's good. Miss Patterson deposits $8,000, takes $2,000 in cash, uses it to fix things in her apartment. The leaky faucet, the broken stove burner, the window that won't close. Uses it to buy new shoes, new glasses, a warm coat for winter, things she needed but couldn't afford. 2 weeks later, she tries to call the pager number, wants to thank him again. It doesn't work. She calls Bad Boy Records. I'm trying to reach Christopher Wallace. He told me to call if I needed anything. Ma'am, we can't give out his personal information. Can you just tell him Miss Patterson called? His teacher, from 5th grade. Tell him thank you. Tell him admit everything. I'll pass along the message. Miss Patterson never knows if the message reaches him. Never gets a call back. But she keeps the check stub, frames it, hangs it on her wall, next to the photos of her students. 6 months later, March 9th, 1997, Sunday morning, Ms. Patterson is making breakfast when her neighbor knocks. Gloria, did you hear? That rapper, Biggie, he got shot in Los Angeles. He's dead. Miss Patterson's legs give out. She sits down hard, turns on her TV. Every channel covering it. The notorious Biggie dead at 24. And Miss Patterson sits in her tiny apartment crying for Christopher, for the little boy she taught, for the young man who remembered her, for the person who saw her struggling and didn't just help, remembered, honored, thanked. She goes to the funeral, stands in the back, doesn't introduce herself, just stands among hundreds crying for Biggie, crying for Christopher, crying for potential cut short, for life ended too soon. Years pass. In 2007, A documentary crew finds her. They're making a film about Biggie. Someone told them about the teacher, the check. They ask if she'll talk. Miss Patterson is 74 now, still in Marcy Projects, still in apartment 4D. I'll talk about him. I'll tell you about Christopher. She sits for the interview under the framed check stub, tells the story about September 21st, 1996, about the bus stop, about the groceries, about him remembering her, about the check, about 20 years of thank you. The interviewer asks, what do you think it meant to him, giving you that money? Miss Patterson thinks, I think it meant he didn't forget. I think he understood that teachers don't do it for money. We do it because we believe in you. And when one of you makes it, that's the reward. But Christopher wanted to give me something else too, something tangible, something that would make my life easier, because he saw me struggling, and he remembered being the kid I helped when he was struggling. That's who he was, not just Biggie. Christopher, the boy who remembered. The documentary airs. Millions watch. See Miss Patterson. See the check stub. See her tiny apartment. See her talk about Christopher with such love, such pride, such grief. Miss Patterson dies in 2013, 80 years old. Her will leaves the framed check stub to the Museum of the City of New York hip-hop exhibit with a note. This is what it looks like when someone doesn't forget, when someone says thank you. This is Christopher Wallace, not Biggie. Christopher, the boy I taught in 5th grade who grew up and came back and said thank you. Remember him this way. The check stub hangs in the museum now, framed, under glass, next to Biggie's photos, his albums, his legacy. Underneath a placard, from the notorious B.I.G. to his 5th grade teacher, Gloria Patterson, September 21st, 1996. For 20 years of thank you. Visitors stop, read it, tear up, take photos, and remember that sometimes the most important thing a famous person can do is remember. Remember who believed, remember who helped, remember who saw them when they were invisible, and say thank you, even if it's 20 years late, even if you only have 6 months left, even if the world knows you as Biggie, but you're still Christopher to the people who matter. That's the story of Miss Patterson, of the teacher who believed, of the student who remembered, of September 21st, 1996, of groceries and recognition and a $10,000 check, of 20 years of thank you, of not forgetting, of the human side of the notorious B.I.G., the side that stopped for an old woman at a bus stop, that wrote a check because debt isn't always about money. Sometimes it's about gratitude. Sometimes it's about being Christopher, not Biggie, just Christopher, the boy who was told he was smart, who never forgot, who came back, who said thank you.